You've fucked up. You've lost trust with her and yourself. But now what? Whether you've cheated, lied, collapsed under pressure, or perhaps quitted on something that you made a promise on, the one thing that you need to know right now is no matter what, you need to focus on how you rebuild from this point on. Now here in this video, I want to break down trust as a whole. Trust being shattered, broken, is something that can be repaired, but you gotta be ready to take it on. And it's not good. It's not sunshine and rainbows all the time. It is sacrifice, it is hard work, it's blood, sweat, and tears. But if you have the guts, if you want to stay strong as a man and come back from this, not just for her, but for yourself in these moments, you can prevail and be the man you've always meant to be. So if you come over here, how to rebuild yourself after breaking trust with her or yourself. And this is a 3-step rebuilding trust framework. And I'm going to break this down very carefully and give you some illustration on this so you can apply this into your life. So the first step is taking full ownership. The second one is pattern changes. And the third one is time and transparency. So for example, me and my wife, when we first kind of started really putting time and energy into our relationship and seeing things flourish and work, I started noticing something in me that I wouldn't take full ownership on at the beginning, which led to constant distractions, constant blame and story making that unfortunately created this facade or a bit of, I guess, resistance or hesitation between me and my wife, right? So this was actually called time. See, my wife cooks a lot, cleans a lot. She's amazing. I love her to bits. But at one point in our relationship, she came forth to me and said, "You're always late. I'm sick and tired of waiting for you. And I can't keep doing it. If you say you're going to be here at a certain time, you need to follow through on that. Because my time is as valuable as yours." It never clicked to me after a while because I started believing a lot of what I thought was right. So I would blame work a lot because I was so heavily involved in what I was doing. It had reason and power, my story, to keep me there. That's how I thought it was. So I used to say that I've got to work. I've got to put food on the table. I've got to make more money for us. I've got to do all this. It was all for her. But the presence of being there or the simplicity of saying my word is my bond. If I'm going to be here at 7 p.m. tonight, I am going to show up. Not 7:40, not 8:20, 7 o'clock. But the problem was I was so built on the story and the blame or the responsibility was outside of me that I never truly took full ownership of what she was saying. I would just justify it and throw it back in her face and didn't listen to her or give her opinion or what she was saying, I guess, validness, if that's a thing. I wasn't giving her the time. I didn't make what she was saying real in her eyes. I wasn't really listening. I could hear her, but I wasn't really listening. And that pissed her off even more. So just imagine that for a moment. You know, my time's more valuable than hers. It doesn't make sense. But it clicked with me eventually because this is how it transformed the area of time for me. Because if I wanted to make something important, I needed to show up. So in this case, it was time. So I took full ownership one day and I was like, no, I don't want you to wait for me. I don't want to be that person where I'm robbing you of your time. That's how I saw it from that view. It was never like she wanted me this time here. She was going off what I was saying anyway. So I was late even though I gave her a time. She never told me be here at this time. She just said, what time are you going to be home? I'd give her a time, but then I would always be late from that time because I was scared of her emotions that she would throw back at me if I would say a time a little later than I thought it was. So I was actually running away. I was quite a pleaser and passive sort of attitude that I had amongst myself a good 8, nearly 10 years ago. But knowing that now about myself, It was more the fact that I was aware that I was using story and blame to avoid conflict with my partner, even though it was going to come anyway. So in the moment, I'd rather say, I'm going to be a bit late tonight. I'm probably going to be here about 7:30. Okay, 7:30, 7:40. And give her a time that actually was going to be honest. I'd rather say 6:45, 7, because I knew that's what she wanted to hear. Awareness. Then it was the pattern changes, the promises and the actions. If I said I was going to be here at 7 o'clock, I must honor the promise and follow through, because the new story is my wife's time matters too. My son's time matters too. I'm robbing him of connecting with his father. How important is that time for him at that time of night? When you start adding these reasons up, you start to see how important this stuff is. So I started to notice that my calendar started to shift. I started to implement certain jobs in other times. I started to look at my priorities and see what was more worthy or what was more valuable in my life, and reconfigured. This was what had to happen for me to appreciate my wife, and even her having the courage to speak to me about something that was bugging her. In time and transparency, this is where repair through communication occurred. Because we communicated and chased up every week, I wanted to make sure that I was following through on my word, because my word is my bond. Now, that is a story of me with my wife. That's also a similar story with myself, because I'm late, I'm not following through, I'm not getting the jobs done that I said I was going to do. Have a look in your life right now where you feel like you don't have trust. You've either lost it with your partner or you've lost it with yourself. And have a look at the story. That's where it starts. What are you telling yourself that's robbing you from taking full ownership to have an open mind and see a new perspective, so that you can forget about the blame, point it to yourself and go, okay, right, what comes now? What promises and actions can I immediately take now that start to build the trust again? So that over time, through transparency of consistency, the repair occurs by communicating with yourself and your partner to see through reflection of how good you've been getting over time. It isn't going to happen overnight, but if you keep following this procedure over and over again with something important, just like I said that happened in my life, things will change and you'll overcome those hurdles in your relationship and even with yourself. You must always remember that trust doesn't come back through apology. Stop using your fucking words. Your words mean nothing. They're pointless. It's your action. It comes through evidence. And evidence is only through your promises, through action. If you say you're going to do something, that's step one. By doing it, you've nailed it over the head. Now you need time through consistency and then further communication to enforce that habit over and over again. Repetition is key by this point. You do this with anything that you may have lost trust in, you will rebuild it bigger than ever before. And with her or yourself, yes, I know you might have in the back of your head, or she might have, oh, he's broken my trust before in this. But in time, as you keep doing it, 3 months goes by, 6 months goes by, a year, 2, 3, it will never cross her mind again, and it will never cross your mind again, because over time, that is repairing. There's trust now. It's built stronger than ever. He's following through on his word. That is the key. Now, if you find it hard with trusting yourself, or you feel like your partner may not trust you as much as you'd want, and you're starting to get some resemblance based on my story, or perhaps this framework, DM me trust. Let's build a plan. I'm happy to give you a free 30-minute masculine rebuild strategy session to go through things like this, to give you a new perspective that you might not see right now. Something that I've had to battle over the years as well, that now I'm helping men do the same thing. And from that plan, let's execute it to build that trust back. Now, if you've liked this video as well, please give it a like. Share it to some other guy that fucking needs to hear this message. All the links are below with all our socials and YouTube, and even the links to book in a free call. And as per usual, if you want to see more videos like this for free, just subscribe. I'd love to help out as many guys as I possibly can. But until then, I will see you on the next video. You have a fantastic day.